Hey, hey family, how you guys doing? I miss you guys. I see SJ in the house. Janice is in the house. Diane, Ruby, Summer, Katrina, Rihanna, Earth Girl, Young Black Queen, Sexy Grandma, Katrina, Violet, Jackie, Dorothy, Earth Girl, Chroma Coated Diamonds, Ruby Turner, Sonia Watts is in the building. She said, Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? And um Janice, Summer, I'm trying to go through this real quick. I see you guys' name. How's everybody doing? So I came, Joyce, how you doing? I see you. Jackie, Diane, how you doing? Zena, Carmacoda Diamond, Sheila, Freddie Johnson's in the building. Miss Mommy 619 is in the house. How you doing? Margie, KK is in the building. She said, we don't play. Hey, Valerie McFadden, how you doing? Elvira, Dominique, Lisa Taylor. Make sure you speak to someone as you come in the building. Make sure you give those thumbs up. You guys, we're going to talk a little bit. But what I wanted to do and what I'm going to do is two different things. And because things happen like that. So we're going to talk about it a little bit. Hey, Lisa Taylor. And what is that? Michaela? Mackay? McKay? Hudson? How you doing? Makia. I don't know how to pronounce your name. You're going to have to call in and tell me how to pronounce your name, girl. Mackay. Candy is in here. Nikki. Ivy. Zen Rowland is in the building. There's my girl. Rhonda Hayes. How you doing? Truth Coming to Light. Tina Powers. Cynthia Green. Great Love. Curl Small. Renee is in the building. Evelyn. Valerie. Make sure you speak to someone as you come in, you guys, because we're going to be a big old family for a while. Family don't go nowhere. Margie, how you doing? Margie's in the building. Rihanna. Or what you call it? Rainy? Rainy? Raina. Raina. That's probably how you pronounce it. Raina Kane. Miss Nisi is here. Tasha Washington. Sharon. Libby. How you guys doing? Lashika. I said Lashika. Lakeisha. It's almost spelled like Lashika, my cousin. Lakeisha. I got to really look at it. Danae. She said, I'm in the building. There you go. Tracy, how you doing? Carrie is here. How you doing, Carrie? Shirley Ferguson, sending love from Sydney, Australia. How you doing? Australia is in the house. Rhonda Hayes, KK. She's saying hi to Zena. Zena. And Kenyatta. Jean Ann is here. Margie Torres. Freddie Johnson is in the building. She's speaking. Hey, everybody. How are you? I'm doing good. I have more things for you to look at with the foster system. Really? That's fine. You can call in anytime. Um, I'm gonna get started in about 8 seconds, you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. Veronica and Sharon Ruby Turner KK is in the building. I have been working on um trying to Soldier Girl, how you doing? TJ, Sparkle. I'm trying to see. Tina Powers is in here. Miss Mommy. Melissa. Pretty Kate. How you doing, Pretty Kate? Dana Harris. And let's roll. Okay, how's everybody doing? I'm glad you guys stopped in today. We are still discussing, and we're going to continue to discuss the California City Boys. They are still missing. The update on there is everybody's guessing and everybody's assuming, and everybody has a theory and an opinion and things of that nature. We are trying to get some information to you guys. You guys know I've been working with this particular person. Actually, it's more than one, it's actually three people. I'm trying to convince them to come on. And they all be like, okay, yeah, mm-hmm. And uh-oh, hold on, I don't know who this is. Hey, this is SP. Oh, hmm. Anyway, ooh, um, let me text this person back. When was this posted? So I would like to talk about this one situation, but you guys know y'all want receipts, and your girl is working too many jobs to be showing you guys the receipt. The only days I have off. Yesterday I slept the whole day away, and I am so sorry. But I was gonna put some stuff together, and I didn't do it. I was thinking one of the three people was gonna come through. Okay, and what has happened is one didn't call back. Let me tell you what's done happened. So I'm at work and I get a call 3 o'clock in the morning, and this person is just giving me a whole bunch of information. I can't record it because I'm at work, and that is patient confidential, whatever you say, what's going on, where you're at, and stuff. So I couldn't record it. And there we're talking like 90 going north, really upset about some stuff on the California City Boys situation. And you know what? I was listening, very intrigued of what was going on, what was being said, and how it was being said. I cannot, for the life of me, to tell you the honest to God truth, repeat what was said. You know why? It was way too much information. Now, it was somebody's theory and opinion, but all the information that they have put together, it added up to a lot of things that this person was saying. And I wanted this person to come out and speak themselves, because I can't explain everything they said. They said it in a whole hour, and the whole entire time I was working hands on. And let me tell you, it was the worst night I've ever had in the last 5 6 months. My client was all over the place, and you know what I'm saying. So that's my job, and then that's my license. So that's the only reason why. If I could have recorded, I could have went back and said, okay, this person said this and this, and then I could have put it in order for you, but I couldn't. So I'm sorry about that, but I got to do what I got to do. Um, then on the other situation that we were talking about, we was waiting for the young lady to come on Wednesday. Hey, some must be going on with their phone, and I'm gonna get one more phone call, and then I'm gonna have to block the person because that is annoying. Unless it's some good information. So then it won't be annoying. But sometimes I be thinking people are doing things, being, they need some attention or something. And it could be a real thing. It's just not. coming through. Maybe it's their phone or my phone. I don't know. But um, hey Wanda, how you doing? QQ, how you doing? But anyway, when this person, hey Asur, somebody's Deborah Dickerson saying, how you doing? Asur is in the building. And be truthful. Be truthful is in the building. So anyway, so the person that I wanted to come on, then another person called me and she had a lot of information. And her information was more on giving us information on, you know, you know, dogs and how they have rescue dogs and discovery dogs and cadaver dogs and things of that nature. And I've heard they're like almost like, thousands and thousands of dollars when you bring them out and things of that nature. Hey guys, child, how you doing? Peggy Toe, 777 Rule is in the building. I hope I say that Rue from Ireland. How you doing? And so that person called and they had a lot of information. And I'm trying to fill these slots in, and everybody's like, oh, just call me or whatever. Hey, this is, hello, this is SP.
Hi, this is who I spoke to. I spoke to you last week. I mean, the other day.
Yes.
Hello, this is SP. I'm so sorry. I think we were talking about California time.
Okay, we are. You got to turn down your device.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn my device off so we don't have to.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I apologize. And I thought that you meant like Pacific Standard Time. So I was like, oh my God, I don't think I can be able to make it. But I do want to share a little bit with your viewers really quick. My name is Kai, and I live in Los Angeles. I'm very familiar with the California City area, Kern County, the AV area as well, which is the Antelope Valley. And I want to thank all of you guys for just being on the platform to be able to share the story. And I want to thank the people that are on the ground and things like that. I'm so sorry because I was like trying to dial your number from so many my other phones and it wasn't working.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
I apologize. I work within the field, so I work alongside of BCFS. I don't necessarily work for BCFS, but I make placement recommendations for children, the highest risk children throughout the state of California. So that's why most of my legal name is gonna remain anonymous. So here's what my concern is in regards to this case. It's just a lot of misinformation, right? It's a lot of, just individuals taking information from here or there, and it's not, it's not confirmed. And the issue with that is that it appears that I'm talking about the people that are on the ground in California City, in Kern County. I want to thank A.B. Washington because he's gathering information that is not necessarily accessed by law enforcement, right? So in typical cases, you go on the ground and you canvass the areas. You go to a lot of people came in contact with neighbors, co-workers, and we just gather information. So you interview these individuals to see, to gather, information in regards to these individuals' characters and things like that. So what my concern is that it looks like AB is gathering information that law enforcement did not go and attempt to obtain, and he's turning over the information to them, correct? Because these children were in school, or they should have made contact with somebody in school throughout this time, because Kern County is different from LA County, right? Mm-hmm. It's more of an agricultural type of area, and it supports a lot of California state prisons. So within Kern County, there's just a lot of prisons. There's a lot of, it's in its agricultural areas. With that being said, it's also, has some of the lowest test scores, and it has a high poverty rate. So what I'm saying is, and I'm so sorry that I'm going off track because I'm trying to stay on track, is I personally believe Kern County doesn't want this to come out because it's Kern County's neglect. They are neglectful. They removed these children prematurely for a fact, and they placed them in the hands of these monsters. Okay, let's get to that part. But did law enforcement do their due diligence and go and canvass and speak to people that were related, that had contact with these individuals? And I'm referring to the adoptive parents. And I'm not mistaken if one of the West boys, Orrin or Orson, has a disability, but when you typically have a disabled child, your rate that you get from either foster care or DCFS is extended. You get a higher rate, which then results into services. Like, so if he had any known disabilities, he should have been seen by service providers, speech pathologists, behavioral therapists, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. I mean, there's so many different people that should have made contact with him based off of also having a disability.
Mm-hmm.
School officials, postmen, delivery, Amazon. I mean, there's so many people that could have been interviewed. And why I don't believe that they're properly being interviewed is because I believe that the county wants to cover it up, right? Because this is a massive case of negligence and a premature adoption, and it goes on often. This is not the first time, okay? These are not the first children that have, come up missing. These are not the first children that are potentially, possibly deceased from the county's negligence, from DCFS's negligence. It's probably a little bit more rampant in that area. And LA County is to blame too for a lot of the negligence. The agency is too huge, right? Not enough support. The staff have way too many clients. And I'm talking about foster youth. And they don't have placement for them. So that's also where I believe where a lot of the information that we don't have as the public is, because I don't think they want us to know, because it's going on. It's something totally bigger than us, and it's bigger than these babies. So then I want to go and talk about what my concern is with this particular case. It's if you look to any of the accounts that came from like neighbors, and they always mention something about the parents, like, oh, they didn't have typical behavior. They were very, kind of refrained, removed. They didn't want to engage. And our key kind of, behavior. Like when you have a neighbor, it's okay to be like, hey, hello, how are you? Good night. Have a great day. You don't have to have an open dialogue, but just to acknowledge, the interaction in between you guys walking in the parking lot. I believe that this case, it didn't have to happen. And I'll explain to you why. It didn't have to happen because people were talking about these red flags, right? These red flags that occurred, that they've seen from him and his wife's behavior, and it just wasn't typical. Now, what was wrong with them just making a call for a wellness check? Because it was just, they didn't hear noise from units that had children. I mean, there's so much going on in this case about who lived in the house. Jacqueline's mama living in another unit on the apartment complex in Bakersfield. It's just so much information just being, pushed out and pushed out. And it's a lot to kind of bring in and, take in and process. But there's one thing that I have processed extremely thoroughly, and it's because I want to say the adoptive parents are not as smart as they want to believe, right? We already know that. We look at their interview, we look at their behavior, and they've been able to get away with a lot of things because people haven't said anything. I believe that the adoptive parents, family, friends, they've had concern. They just chose not to express it or, convey it to the proper individuals. And I hold everybody accountable, and even the neighbors, I hold them accountable, because if you see things that are just awkward and you have this kind of gut feeling, you move forward with that. You at least bring it to the attention of somebody to check on this or check. Not right. But let's get back to these people they didn't do this alone. They had to receive help from people because obviously they're not smart. I mean, this is just based off of their interview, based off of whatever accounts that are being told by them. Somebody has coached them, even coached them into adoption, even coached them into fostering. And I want to believe that that's Jacqueline's mother, okay? Because like I said in an interview in Bakersfield in an apartment complex, it was told that Jacqueline's mother also fostered and adopted children.
Mm-hmm.
So this lifestyle, someone coached them or prepped them or manicured them for this, right? Because it allowed them not to go and have an employee. It just allowed them to live a different type of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of hide. So my concern is these people did not do this alone. They don't have the capability, the mindset. I'm not saying they didn't do the act alone. I'm talking about the things that happened after the act, right? The cover up, like, all of this. And one person in particular that I'm going to speak about is a person who was in a professional capacity when she met Jacqueline and Trezell. And that individual, and I'm going to say her name because it was in public eye on Trezell's Venmo account. Nobody had put their stuff to private at the time that it was accessed, but it was Lapuz Molinari. She was their lender.
Okay. Say the name again, because you was kind of cutting out a little bit.
Okay, I'm sorry. She was the lender in regards to the purchase of the buying of the home.
Okay.
Her name is Aileen, LAPUZ hyphen MOLINARI.
Okay.
And when this was brought to my attention on December the 29th, someone posted his Venmo transaction, and I'm talking about Trezell. And, it was a home inspection, and then there was some loans going in, like payments to the Aileen. So I then went and researched Aileen. Aileen is in the lending business. She works within mortgages. And I'm like, okay, well, who pays their mortgage or even engages with someone in that level of a capacity on Venmo? And everybody was discrediting it, like, oh, well, my kids, we get our hair done. I'm like, oh, we pay our rent. I'm like, well, that makes sense because rent, you can pay rent to a private owner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that individual can have Venmo, and you can do everyday things through that. But a mortgage is a little bit tricky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're talking about a massive financial institution. And how would they be able to transact through Venmo? It just didn't make any sense.
It's extreme.
Everybody was discrediting me. It just didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to give me some Google generic version that they search. You can pay your mortgage. I'm like, here, stop it. I'm not going to go there because it can't even. It doesn't even make any sense in this capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So a person from New Jersey reached out to me, and she's like, wait a minute. This is just making way too much sense. Like, why would someone have a mortgage or engage in a transaction that's so, a financial transaction like that through something so petty? Because a lot of crime, a lot of fraud, a lot of criminal activity happens through Zelle, happens through Venmo, happens through these cash apps. It happens. So why would you want to do that? So let's move fast forward, okay?
Mm-hmm.
On January the 3rd, Chris Thorne had interviewed the previous owner of the home. And she, I felt that she was extremely genuine, right? Mm-hmm. She was a genuine. And she also discussed her process within that transaction, the buying of the home, the selling and the purchasing of the home between her and the West. She said, and I'm just going to say this. I'm going to repeat what she said to me.
Okay.
She says, why would they come to buy a home at this price point when they were never pre-qualified for a loan and they had no money? I was like, whoa, that's really interesting. So I listened further on, and I provided you a link via your text message, and hopefully you can post it here. And what she said after that was kind of strange. She said, listen, they attempted the West to get multiple loans. She said the first one was fraudulent because either the realtor or the lender tried to deposit money in Trezell's account to make him appear like he had money in order to purchase the loan. I'm like, that's really strange. And now it makes sense, and let's relate it back to this Venmo, right? She continued to talk about how the structure of the loan was awkward. And he didn't, he needed assistance because he didn't have the funding to purchase a home. And then she didn't go too much in regards to his financial. She did mention something about, there being, adopted parents or fostering and that money. But her information is obviously being told to her by her realtor, who's probably having discussions with Trezell's and Jacqueline's realtor about why the loans keep falling through. Then finally, the loan, they got some other type of loan. But the whole important part is her as the seller said the loan was fraudulent. The first loan was fraudulent. The first loan was attempted to be funded by the lender. She didn't understand if it was the realtor or the lender, but come to find out through the Venmo, it's the lender. So she was trying to assist the West in making them look good on paper in order for them to be able to, qualify and have the loan closed. Okay, they couldn't do that independently. It took a mission to commit probably perjury and conflict of interest for even giving him the money and making that all look great when it was illegal.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move forward to a YouTuber named 10 to Life. She did this video and, it really pissed me off. And it pissed me off because of this. We're already dealing with a case where not a lot of information. We are, these individuals, adopted parents, are not being honest. And then there's so many avenues and so many people collecting and exchanging information. So 10 to Life, Miss Annie, does this interview. And I need to look up so I could read you exactly what she said, okay? I need to read you what her little tag or title said because it was very disturbing.
Okay.
Her title says, and this is for clickbait, okay? She says, Terrell West, friends, okay?
She said what now?
The name of her her video is called Terrell West, His Friend Speaks Out. Now,
okay.
When we get to that video, the friend that she's talking about is the lender, Aileen, from the Venmo. Now, she goes and she creates this story. This is Trezell's friend. She knows him really well. She's known him for a long time. And then she starts to have the conversation and the dialogue after she does her intro about their relationship. Their relationship was in a professional capacity because she did not know Trezell, Aileen, the lender, prior to him purchasing or attempting to purchase a home. So Miss Annie goes on, and this is all hearsay because Annie is telling us what the lender, Aileen, said. It's not recorded. It's not like someone is calling in. There's no dialogue like Chris Thorne had with the previous seller of the Aspen home. So this is hearsay because it's what someone else is saying that someone said. So my issue is that she's talking and building this, once again, an illusion with the relationship between the lender and Trezell. Oh, they're great friends, da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, this is awkward because it's a misrepresentation of exactly what went on. But we know that Annie scammed, and she all of these blog sites and Facebook pages, and she gathers information, and then she reached out to Aileen from that, and that's fine. But I need you to deal with at least some form of fact if you talk to the lender. However, the lender stated, Aileen, something about the closing, right? Because now she's trying to push the fact that she did loan him money. It was publicly because of Venmo. I loaned him the money not for the closing, but I loaned him the money for him to move. And I'm like, well, we know that all of it is conflict of interest because your relationship was a professional capacity, right? You can't loan someone money in a professional capacity as a lender, because you have, in any state, or particularly California, there's a board that governs, and there's code of conduct. So you committed a violation in regards to your license because you loaned an individual that you have no idea who this individual is, but you guys connected. You formed a bond over the buying process. And all of this is for the lender to cover her ass, and I'll explain to you why. And this is just my theory, but the original seller stated, listen, This loan was fraudulent from the go because realtor or lender tried to deposit money in his account to make it. How would she even have the capacity to even know that on January the 13th, even though the home was already sold? And then here we go with Annie from 10 to Life. She followed up on the 14th of January with this extravagant ass story for clicks. And some of it is truths of lies because it's the interpretation or whatever Aileen, the lender, explained to her about the relationship between herself and Trezell. I question if there was some infidelity going on in between, the lender and also Trezell, because who in the hell would just randomly loan somebody $5,000 that you don't know? It just does not make any sense. And not only that, it's a conflict of interest, and you know that your license is at risk if anything comes out from this, right?
All right.
Let's fast forward. So we get to this part, and they're creating this illusion about, this is between the lender and him. This is what Annie is saying. He wanted to move to California City because he wanted to live off the grid. He mentioned Pizzagate, and I'm not going to even say the beginning, like the first letter to that, but just yes. And he mentioned all these things, and they had, in-depth conversations. Okay, but here's what my question is. Since Aileen, the lender wants to push the theory of, oh no, I didn't give you the money for the closing, which we know that the seller says, that's what occurred, right? The problem is that what I said about these two people did not commit this crime. They probably committed the act, but the things around the act, after the act, the things that occurred after, they needed assistance or getting to that point because they're not right. Now, either he conned the lady to give him the money or acted like he had similar interests as her. It doesn't really matter because, like I said, she's in a professional capacity. She should have stayed in a professional capacity because if she didn't create all these illusions, he probably would have never even qualified for the loan, right? If she didn't create these things or attempt to create these things and created the money, because if he didn't have the money for closing, which I believe it was really for, he wouldn't have been able to get the house. Okay. So let's just go off of the lenders. Oh, I gave him the money to move. Let's just go off the lender. Let's just say she's saying, okay, I gave him the money to move. Well, what that means is that you were the catalyst financially to assist him and Jacqueline in disposing of those babies' bodies. So even if you want to say that you didn't, okay, that's fine. I'm sorry, my kids are here. Okay, 1 second. You can get some ice cream. Okay. I'm sorry.
You're okay. You're okay.
So my question is, it doesn't really matter which way you go. The lady was, Aileen, the lender was unethical. It doesn't matter if she funded the closing. I mean, legally, she did things that were unethical, right?
Mm-hmm.
Illegal. She did these unethical things that led to them to be able to do whatever they did. And we don't even know what it is, right? Because they're not talking. My issue with this is there's so many individuals and even YouTubers that are creating this illusion and trying to gain clickbait and all these different things. The point is, they're not that smart. And I'm talking about the adoptive parents. These people around them have aided in these babies' disappearance, right? Mm-hmm. So Aileen, in this particular case, has a conflict of interest, never money. So I'm going to say, oh, I helped him move. The hell do you need $5,000 to move from raggedy ass Bakersfield to raggedy ass California City? Those are both like, to live there. Literally, I live in LA. My electricity bill is the equivalent of their rent, or probably more than their rent in both of those cities. So I don't know why a person would need 5 rats to move. Right? It doesn't, especially moving from one place to another and moving from an apartment to a home. Like, it doesn't make sense. But let's just say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and co-sign on your BS, Aileen, the lender. You aided them. You gave them the financial ability to dispose of these babies. Like, regardless of the facts. So let's go with what you're saying is facts. You helped. And that's what I'm saying about everybody around them, whoever that they're having contact with, their parents, Jacqueline's mama, his brother, this other brother, they're all aiding in this particular case. They're aiding because these are not individuals that are smart enough to execute this on their own. They executed the interviews that they did on their own, and look what it was. Let's talk about this too. Adoptive mother never came out to look at those children. You saw in the video. She never walked her ass outside to look for her children, okay? Now, I've seen pet owners come outside screaming for their pets with more concern and urgency to look for their pets than this lady did to look for her own children. She could have even screamed their names from the front. She could have done that. Why? Because this is a ruse. It's not true. And they're not great actors. So I would understand that whatever they rehearsed, they're not able to execute it correctly. Right? Because they're not actors.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the skill set to turn it on and off. And that's why we saw exactly what we saw, and why all these other videos and accounts are showing totally different than what the hell that they spoke on. Another thing that I'm going to bring up is, if you search Trezell and any of his family members, Josiah West, brother, I forget the daddy's name,
Philip,
Wanda West, you will see, if you search them on truepeoplesearch.com, all of these individuals has had the same exact Aspen address prior to Trezell closing on that home loan. So I'll explain it to you in a second. So Trezell and his brother, they and the father, they have the 10717 Aspen address associated to them, right? The house that Trezell and Jacqueline purchased in, I think, September of 2020. They have it going back to 2001. That's quite odd. And Trezell, he has it going back to January 2020. Now, I mean, I know that we live in a world that when we want something, we, manifest it and bring it into the universe by thoughts. But how would this address literally come up years prior, unless the mother had owned it at some point a long time ago? How did this one particular address come up on the mother? The mother, Wanda West, that's her address currently, if you look. I need to figure out Josiah West. If you look on truepeoplesearch.com, you can clearly see that these individuals have this address. So Josiah has had 10717 Aspen Avenue, California City, 93505 from May 2001 to September 2020. That's kind of awkward.
2001.
2001. Now, I don't know how this site reports information or where it gathers its information from, but this is kind of like awkward. You know what I'm saying? And anytime that I search anything or anybody, I use True People Search. Let me make sure, truepeoplesearch.com. And I looked up Aileen, the lender. I looked up, and not only that, let me explain something to you. So when you look on truepeoplesearch.com, they give you options. You can look by name, you use the city, or you can do an a reverse address search. So when I looked up Trezell, I found him. I clicked, and it had, I want to say it had Bakersfield address, but I'm not necessarily sure because I'm not online right now. But you can click the address. So I clicked the address, and then it showed me everybody associated with that address within whoever reported the address within years, right? The previous owners, you can scroll through it. So I'm like, how do one list? And then I got another person, and I'm assuming it's his father, Trezell's father. He's also associated with this property. That is so weird. So then it goes back to the theory about, these grow houses. So then you say, well, are they in connection with these grow houses that were there with previous ownership? Like, this is all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And we're taking just bits and pieces of information and trying to find the truth in it because law enforcement is being so vague. I don't know what to think. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a clue. Like, but what I did was I followed the facts, right? I followed the facts, and a lot of times, a lot of individuals on these blogs and on these boards and all these, they're messaging and everything is hearsay and everything unless you follow the facts and it's concrete. Like, we're just all speculating here because we want these babies to be found. But my suggestion is that's looking at the adoptive parents because they've already tight-lipped, quiet-lipped, refrained, removed, and it's to follow and find the people around them because their stories are going to be inconsistent because they're all, or the ones that are participating, like I said, unwillingly or willingly, their stories are going to be a lot different, right? And those are where the inconsistencies are going to be found as these individuals are not willing to tell the truth. And these other people may be involved, may not be, but if you take witness accounts or just take interviews or just go and gather information as law enforcement, you'll be able to find inconsistencies, right? Because they had to have help. They're not right at all. Like, it doesn't seem like they were, even the engagement, like from the neighbors, there's something there. There's some dark piece there. There's some dark part there because, a lot of people mentioned they're running this like a business. They ran this adoption foster care like a business. And I blame Kern County. You understand? I blame Kern County. I blame Kern County because you guys put these babies in their space, right? You allowed this to happen. I mean, you allowed it, and you didn't follow up, you didn't follow through. I believe it's for adoption, and I really hate that people continue to go after the adopted mother. I mean, not the adopted mother, the bio mother. She has to live with this in her heart for the rest of her life. What she couldn't do, what she didn't do, what could she do differently? Her family clearly said we attempted to get the children. We went on file. We took, fingerprints. But if you know how the system works, you know it's Jake. So when they said we couldn't get the children, I'm like, well, that makes a lot of sense because I interact with these agencies, on a daily basis, and it sounds about right? So let's not focus on bashing and tearing down the bio mother, because the bio mother, she's already lost. She not once but twice, right? Because you assume this agency is supposed to do better than what she did. And what they did is they failed her and her children. And to be honest with you, when you look at it, they're at risk of a multi-million-dollar lawsuit, right? From her and other parents that can also prove these same things. I'm talking about DCFA. So at this point, I'm giving you guys my theories. Probably, I'm so sorry because I'm rushing. I came off a crisis call for my own clients that I service in my staff, and then I'm on the way somewhere else. But it's about listening to, and I hope that you were able to post whatever links that I gave you. It has the timestamps. And if you just compare the seller's conversation with this fake hearsay conversation from Aileen, it's quite disturbing because we know that she assisted in some manner. And I want to say they wouldn't have had the loan without her, but if she wants to say it's moving, yeah, okay, well then you just funded them to dispose of their bodies. If that's the case, if they're no longer with her, that's what the lender did. And she probably had no clue, but now she's trying to cover it up. So I thank you for giving me the time to allow me to share. And I want to thank Dee from New Jersey. My kids are getting a little bit, antsy. And I apologize. And I thank you guys because it's about people that can get facts, right?
Right.
And at least gather real information. You guys that are out here that are putting forth this effort, investigating, gathering this information on the ground, talking to people, getting, real life. That's important. And it is important to share our theories. I don't know if all of them are going to be true or accurate, but thank you for giving myself the platform. And like I said, I want to thank Dee from New Jersey because between her and I, you've been talking about this. Also, one more thing. Aileen, the lender, assisted him in boarding up the home. I don't know who said law enforcement did or they saw law enforcement, but if you go back to Annie 10 to Life, she mentions in there the boarding up of the home and how Trevelle reached back out to her, or they had already been in conversation. And Aileen, the lender, is from Bakersfield. So I don't know how she lied and said she didn't know about the story when she obviously did, but she aided in boarding up the home. Either she located the person to board up the home or she financed the boarding up the home. I don't know, but I know that she aided in that. And to whatever Annie is saying, but not that many.
Okay.
It's in the life.
All right. Well, we thank you. We thank you for everything. And I do have those links. I'm gonna look at them and I will put them in the description box if anybody want to follow after this live. I'm gonna look at them first and then I'll add those in the description box so you guys can take a look at what she's talking about.
Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you. Okay. Well, that's one. Two more to go. I want everybody to know that this platform, you guys are welcome to share your theories, your opinion, as long as you keep it respectful. Um, Not everybody has to agree with it, not even me. And we're going to listen. And if you do in agreement with a lot of the things that she said, like I said, a lot of things that she said was making a lot of sense. And, some people got angry with me before. I think somebody came in the chat room and they were saying something of this nature. And so somebody reached out and was like, oh, it's about being racist or such and such, such, such. And I was like, I really didn't see anything that was really said racist. Somebody said white girl or something. Other than that, that's all I heard. And I don't know what they got out of it, but I was like, no, we don't play that over here. It's basically we really, trying to stay on track. And the things that she said, and I'm gonna say this, and it's not because she's kind of echoing how I felt about the house, you guys, but I told you from day one, which a lot of people reached out and was in the comment section talking about SP, stay focused, stay on track. Why? What's the big deal about? I'm like, hey, you guys, you don't understand that this house is $60,000 above listing price in that area. Oh, it can be that. It can be what it want to be. I said, you got to follow that money. Y'all didn't hear what I was saying though, but follow that money because it's something up when all the other houses of 3 bedrooms and things of that nature, and everybody was like, well, it costs a lot of money to live here. I know, but a couple of months ago, that house wasn't worth that. It was worth 132. Here we go. Hey, this is SP.
Hi, SP. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I agree with you so much when you talk about follow the money. I'm telling you, when I look into things, all I see is like a bunch of real estate transactions amongst different people in the family, and then after they purchase it, put it in another person's name that's in the family, and it's just so weird. Because I remember at first, a lot of us not a lot of people were not sure about the 1109 address, but I knew from the beginning because of the last name. But I never really wanted to say something, even though it's public record. Mm-hmm. You don't just want to go blurting out things with innocent people, if it's an innocent person. Mm-hmm. But when after we were all trying to figure out, the 1109, I'm like, yes, but that person whose name is on the mortgage doesn't live there, but that last name is not West. It's Ruth Watkins, but I feel comfortable with saying it now only because I had noticed that they put it on the official statement of the family. Mm-hmm. When they gave out an official statement. I'm like, Watkins? They was like, from the West/Watkins family. I'm like, where does Watkins from? Why would they even put Watkins out there? I had no idea. And that just makes me even more know that there's more people involved in this whole thing, and a lot of people in places like the inmates. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's most likely the guy that's in the NAACP. You can't tell me that you see your cousin and you have like short interactions, or you know your cousin and you see that he has all these kids and stuff, and you don't think anything of it.
Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people know even Jacqueline's mom. And another thing I get from Jacqueline's family is that they're not very honest at all. I can't, because I'm not a professional person, but a lot of times you can try and tell because you have empathy. Some people that have empathy, a strong sense of empathy or discernment, can just pick up on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Jacqueline's mom, when I found out that she had even taken in children as well, I was like, really? And this is one thing. A lot of people have weird, quote unquote, weird things. Well, they describe Trezel's actions to be weird.
Mm-hmm.
The way that he acts. And to me, I feel like he acts like a typical weed smoker. Like, he seems very paranoid, or is like into himself and wants to be secluded, antisocial, right? Just disconnecting himself from things around him and just being in his own world. And when I'm thinking that, and then I'm bringing it back to the grandmother saying she returned the children that she had, and they referred to the two children as the two Mexican boys, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So and the reason why she had went ahead and returned them, which was ridiculous to me, but she returned them because they were selling. Oh my goodness, they were selling weed. A 10 and an 11-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Where they get the weed from? They in your custody now.
Mm-hmm.
And then, now, this is my thing, because they little tiny boys, where they gonna get this stuff from? Not only that, now I'm thinking to myself, so your story don't make sense, ma'am, because from what I've seen the past couple of weeks from Trezel and Jacqueline, if they did have two little runners, quote unquote, in their family selling weed, they're gonna get the money. Like, why not? I mean, you're out here doing all other kinds of frauds,
right,
for homes. So you take it now when it comes to these 10 and 11-year-olds to have like morals. No, you can't sell weed, but you smoke it. In my opinion, I just feel like this whole thing is just, but I do, the more that, people find and that I find on the internet, I feel like if it's easy for me to find these things, I know for a fact that the authorities are finding it. They may not be so forthcoming with it, especially not right now, but I know when it hits the fan, it's a wrap for them. And when it does happen, I would be so honored if they would just plaster their face on the television screen, because I want to see what a dodo really, really looks like. They want to be so private. I cannot believe that's why they moved over there. Because I picked up something, because at first it was like, this is very sinister. It's so creepy. They have people that don't really have anything to do with nothing. They're threatening others that's trying to find out what's going on and taking it the extra mile. I think that the people that are sending threatening messages are the constituents in the community that are over there that really, really practice like a privacy type of life. You have some individuals that want to live a certain way. Sometimes they just want to get away and live a private life because they don't really agree with the system too much or what have you. Sometimes they want to get away because they into no good stuff.
Right.
But I would hope that this is a lesson for a lot of people, because now we know what kind of places we should and should not move into. because you want to make sure that you take your family to a place that if something were to happen, you have authorities that will be able to help your family. You don't just, like you have people out there working, paying state taxes for children, and they can't even, you have no rights or no say. It just flips the community upside down. And this California city where they are, they just got a post office in the 60s. So this was like an area that was just like, it's poorly ran, poorly managed. It was supposed to be something where, a man, he wanted to invest in real estate, and he thought that this would be a good place to do it, but a lot of people are like, this is too far from everything, it's the desert, so it's really, really unattractive. But, yeah, like I said before, I think that a lot of people in the family are involved. I think it's so funny because this happened, and for people who don't have any money, they get the house boarded up, they get law attorneys and whatnot, but you so broke.
Right.
And it's ridiculous. And I don't think the NAACP man is going to help, because that's his cousin, and he most likely, he ate it. I feel like a lot of people who kept their mouth closed, silence is acquiescence. There's a thin line between becoming like accessory, an accessory. When you close your mouth to deeds that you see, you're just as guilty. And Chazelle, sometimes I don't know if he's like a really horrible person and callous, or if he really has a heart. Sometimes I feel like maybe he has a heart. And if he does, now would be his time to come to Jesus. Because him and Jacqueline don't have a loving marriage at all. They didn't hug each other. For these to be your children, this is a time where I would, and I've seen other people, they would grab each other, console each other. They each on their own, but at the same time, still a united front. It's totally off. It's totally off.
Yes.
And the reporter asked during their conference, when they had to tell what was going on, a reporter asked, well, how long had it been that the boys were missing before you called the police? Chazelle said, I don't know. She said, we called in, and she threw her hand out, like, she didn't hit him, but she was like, let me, it's right. Like a silent type language towards each other, and then he just shut up and was like, right. And I think Chazelle is something, if you want to just give it up, come to Jesus, repent right now. I know one thing, Grandma West got that up out of Dodge. Quick, fast.
Yes.
But she would go over to visit those kids often also, because she would park in his van space, what was supposed to happen in his van space.
Right.
While he always parked in the back.
Yes.
To avoid people. And I'm sure that the police and the, respective authorities are going to look into things. I'm just waiting for the day that it comes out. I'm going to be very excited to know that justice has prevailed, and I want them to plaster their faces all on the screen, because I want to see what they look like, hiding behind masks and things like that. They ought to be ashamed. If they would see what happened with the kids, that's it. And a lot of times too, when they talk about the children, even in that, I don't see where it makes sense to even bring up how the birth fathers gave up their rights. What does that have to do with anything when you're writing a statement about the missing boys and trying to find them? Like, it was just like a little cheap shot or something.
Right.
Like, as if to say nobody wanted them, you're lucky we got them, but we were the ones to have them, should be grateful. No.
Right.
And I'm hoping that, because I'm reaching out to the people where I live as well, that they change the threshold to be able to have and requirements to be able to even take in kids. Because having kids, fostering kids, adopting kids should not be someone's means to end their poverty or financial hardships. You know?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that's just, But how are you, SP? How have you been?
I'm good.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you so much for allowing us to come again in the boardroom and have discussions. I really appreciate it. It's a very safe place, and you're a very patient woman.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
thank you. Thank you for calling in and sharing.
Yeah. What are you thinking about? What's happening?
Well, I've got a lot of things I'm thinking about, but um, and my mind is somewhere else because there's another child in the same situation right now. So,
That's the news that you had gotten the other night when you said it's okay. I think it was the night you had a headache or something.
mm-hmm,
You're like, I got some bad news before the show.
mm-hmm.
Is this in California? Are you able to say where this is?
Oh, I can't. No, I
Oh,
can't. I can't speak on it because,
I see.
yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I'm really hoping that these things change. I had no idea. Like this, I mean, I knew that it could be hard, and I knew that, people adopt children for the wrong reasons and stuff. But I never thought that I would hear a story like this and be so affected by it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, it just really, really bothers me to know that these are the type of people that will have parties when they adopt a child. And it's not because they adopted the child. It's probably most likely because the state don't really have to come out too much or bother them anymore. So they want to celebrate.
Right.
A mess.
Right.
Well, let me go ahead and like this video.
Yes.
And I want to remind everybody else, they should like the video.
Yes.
I'm liking it before I go and hang up the phone, but I will stay in the chat.
Right.
And I hope you have a good evening. Thank you so much for awarding me this time to speak with you and everyone else.
Well, thank you.
All right, take care. Have a good night.
All right, good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Um, okay, you guys, I've got some more information I want to share with you before we get out of here. I know that we're in an hour, but we share all information, whether we, like I said, we're in agreement with it or not, and we're going to always respect our guest that calls in or whatever. And I didn't block anyone, I just timed someone out because just because someone is speaking, you guys be respectful. If you don't like what's being said, you can always leave if you're not in agreement with it or whatever. But on this platform, we're staying neutral. So I do have to share something with you guys, okay? Um, I don't have the date, but I'm going to share this with you because another YouTuber has put this out. I'm not even going to take the credit. I am going to share it with you guys because I know you guys don't, we find out if when something's new hit, whatever, 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 whatever. Okay. So I'm going to share some with you because I got to add to it a little bit, but this is not mine, but it is confirmed that this is true. Okay. And this YouTuber must not be that big. So I do want you guys to go over there and look at the video that they have put out because um, all information is important. It may not eat the meat and spit out the bones. So this YouTuber went and put out actually this was like January the 5th, and she only has 600 people that's seen this. But I didn't even have this. So she's doing some research, and it sounds like she's been doing some research. And I only it's almost like it's a shout out. So I'm giving her all kudos. So she put out this statement, and I can read it. It's very blurry, but I'm gonna try to read it. And like I said, you guys can go over there. I don't have the link, but I'm gonna spell it when I get done reading it to you. And then I want to share with you the update on the King Hill. And then we're going to get out of here, you guys, unless somebody else got something to say. Okay. So this YouTuber is not that well known. But like I said, even though they don't have big numbers or they're not well known, they're doing some digging and they're doing some work. Okay. And when we're reaching out and looking for all information, we have to give you even information that we don't like. So she had found a post where Ryan Dean had posted. Now it says, it doesn't say when she posted it, but it's not on her post anymore. It's not on her Facebook anymore. But this is what it says. This is what Ryan Dean's post says. Now, if someone has done something to this post, I'm just telling you where I got the information from at the end of reading this. So Ryan Dean must have posted this because this is what she has reported. I don't I don't know these adopted people. I never knew they stayed in California City until I found out my boys were missing. HE double hockey stick. I don't even know they stayed in Bakersfield. They used to be secretive about where they would park. So purposely, after one of my visits, I watched from the window in the lobby to see where they parked. And it was very far, but I saw the white van. Then, after another visit, I told Jacqueline, let me talk to you. I'm not a bad mother and I don't know what is going on. But if the worst comes, please let me be in my children's life. I am not a bad mother. She said, I definitely, she does use the word definitely. So she said, I definitely see that. But uh, Trezelle barely wanted to even, I can't make out that word, look at me. They gave me a sick feeling talking to them. After the last visit, they denied gifts, and I never heard or seen from them again until this happened. Have not seen them or my kids since December of 2018 when they denied me and my mother Christmas gifts for my boys. I told those workers my kids are losing weight Why are they crying every time they get picked up from visit? Where are their snacks during visit? And why are their sippy cups empty? No extra cups or juice in the diaper bag, and no wipes. No haircuts. I had to start bringing snacks to visit for my boys, and they were eating like they were very hungry. Classic would pick up toys that resemble food and try to eat it. Dirty receiving blankets, ugly clothes. I told the social worker, I cried to social workers, and they did not care. Do I need to compare pictures from when, then they say that person's name, Latoya, had them as the pictures when these idiots had them? Because I have videos and pictures, and I will. Okay? So, I'm going to share with you guys where you can go and find this at. It's a young lady. She only got 645 views on this. And not only that, I want to share something else before you go run and see it for yourself. She also shares something that we do not have, and that is the biological dad. She also has the biological dad. Okay. Here's the biological dad. Okay. And he has 8 other children, she says. And I think he is the dad of Sincere. Okay. Um, what else was it? Oh. I am going to go as far as not saying that I told you guys he was there, and let me see if we got it on this clip real quick. Let's look.
I came in the house, I saw them there. I went in the house, I came back out, I didn't see him. I opened up the back gate, I'm throwing wood, bringing it inside the house. My wife's inside, she was actually wrapping gifts, so we thought it was a good idea that they got our youngest to go outside and play with chalk on the back. I realized that I left the gate open, and I panicked, came inside the house, searched the house, me and my wife. Once that didn't pan out, I got in the van. I looked down the street, both directions. It was getting dark, getting cold.
He thinks you guys did something.
And that's understandable.
What's your response to that?
That's understandable. I would think the same thing.
Yep.
I mean, that's exactly the point. And if we can find our babies, then guess what? That's no. And that's all I want is to find our babies.
But the West are standing firm as the search efforts continue.
We're going through it. It's difficult. I mean, everybody's making their own their own conclusions. They don't know anything. We're not sure, like everything. We're not sure. We said what we
knew. You guys, I'm trying to find something. I don't think we're going to find it. I don't think. Anyway, we'll go back over it. I wanted to share something with you. Who is this in here? Um, If you go back over the video, I thought we had it in there, but if you go back, when they start yelling and they say, the sister says, "You're supposed to take care of my nephew." You guys remember that? Put a one in the chat if you guys remember that. If you guys remember that. I need to share this with you guys. Do you guys remember that? Okay. When you go back over that clip, there's a guy that's standing behind her and he gets to talking. And so Jacqueline, it was like something about, you got kids, you live around here, do. And he says, my biological kids, I raised this kid like it was my own. I believe, don't quote me on this, but go back and compare the picture. I believe that's him right there. This is SP.
Hey, SP.
What's going on?
This is Regina.
Hey, Regina.
Are you still live right now?
I'm still live right now.
You know what you just read from that person that you said had only a few subscribers from the biological mom. All that is what she said in her interview.
Okay. Well, no, it's posted.
Oh, but I heard her say those specific words
right
in her interview.
Right.
That's where I remember her saying it from.
No, that was a post that she posted, and this young lady went out and snatched it up. She posted it.
Oh, okay. But I remember hearing her say those exact words, so I thought that maybe, she just said that. Right. Or where that's where it came from. But
right.
Yes. Well, hello to the chat. That's all I was calling in.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
And if anybody wants to find that, I cannot show it because I don't want somebody to say, well, I don't want to be connected to her. You're not connected to me. You're not connected to me. I'm just giving you guys where the receipt is and where you can find the full video. And I don't think she even pieced that together, that's him behind the sister right then. I wish I would have had it together, but your girl working, so you guys can have to do it yourself. So anyway, if you spell it, if you got your pen and your paper, this is how you spell it. And I need one of the mods to please put it in the chat because I want everybody to go over there and check this young lady out. It's capital J V ONNE, and the last name is Christian. CHRISTIAN. Okay. I'll repeat it. Capital J VONNE, capital CHRISTIAN. And that's where you can find that at. Yes. Thank you, 777. Thank you, Christina. Thank you. That's how you spell it. That's who has it. And make sure when we get done with this, you guys check it out. Now, let me share with you guys the update. You guys are not going to be happy what I'm going to tell you on the King case. Okay. Let me get my information here. Hold on. Because I know you guys are going to get mad. See, some couple people are like, oh, I don't know about the King case. Okay. So you guys know that Tiana was arrested for the disappearance and I guess the allegations of murdering King in 2020. Anywho, you guys, they had charged her with 9 counts. Let me go back because now here it is. They had nine charges. Remember, I was telling everybody that her attorney went back to court. He filed a motion to dismiss all the charges. Well, there's not 9 counts anymore. Nine charges. There's only 4 charges. He's gotten 5 of them taken off. She was charged with murder. She was charged with endangerment, welfare of children. She was charged with possession of an instrument of crime, willingness and intent. She was charged with interference with custody of children. She was charged with obstruction of administration, law, order, and government. She was charged with abuse of a corpse. She was charged with unsworn falsification to authorities. She was charged with false report. She was charged with tampering with fabricating physical evidence. The only charges now left on there is murder, endangerment, welfare of a child, abuse of a corpse, and unsworn falsification. All the other charges has been dropped. Okay? Out of 9, there's only but 4. And I'm pretty sure they're going to file other motions to get those. Oh, and allegedly, I don't know, but allegedly, I hear this. I don't know this. I don't have no receipts, but I hear that the aunt, Kiara's aunt, or Sarita, Redhead, whatever you want to call her, or whatever, is a witness for the defense. And that she is saying, she is agreeing that she gave this child back to the mother. Okay. I know you guys. Anyway, no, I didn't see the comment. I don't know. Anyway, I know you guys. Make sure you check it out, and I'm gonna try to get these 2 other people that we're still supposed to be, waiting for. And she did call. She did text me today. The one that we're waiting on. She did text me today, and she's feeling a lot better. She said that we were going to talk before we came on today, and I called. Well, I texted her and said, "Hey, call me," and then she said, "Hold on, you guys." Yeah.
Is this you that was in the chat?
This is SP.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi. I haven't seen any of your YouTube things. Stop, honey. And I ran across you, and I had just watched a video from someone else.
Who is this?
This is Danielle.
Danielle.
I am the sister of the person who sold them the home.
Oh, you're the sister of the person that sold him the home.
Yes. And this is just all so surreal and horrible. But yes, my sister met him. She thought he was odd. There was no children there when she sold him the home. It took forever, like months to close her sale of the home.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't have any information. I just know that was my sister's house.
Uh-huh.
She sold it to them, and then she calls me one day and goes, "Look on YouTube. There's my house. These babies are missing." And that's that's what's going on. And there's videos with all my sister's stuff in the house, and it's just all horribly weird.
Oh,
But that's it. I mean,
well, your sister said there was a secret room.
my sister, well, before when they bought that home, when they were in the process of purchasing that home, it had been raided. It was like a drug house. So it had been raided. So there was a lot of weird stuff in there, electrical coming out of the ground and just weird things. So there was stuff, different areas in that home that were odd, to say the least.
Okay.
She would say, "Oh, we found this area that is behind a drywall," and there was just strange happenings. Like the house was wired for sound. I mean, it was very strange. But
is there a crawl space underneath the home, or is it a slab of cement?
I don't think that I honestly don't know for sure. I don't remember her ever mentioning a crawl space. I just know that it was a grow house. So they had, there was like plumbing in the ground in one of the rooms, and things were just off and weird.
Okay.
There was like electrical hanging out of the ceiling and holes in the ceiling, and that house was just odd. Very strange setup.
Okay.
But when she met him, when she sold him the home, she met him, she said he rubbed his hands together and said, "Oh, this is perfect. This is a perfect place." And I always said to my sister, "Why the hell did you move there? It's like in the middle of nowhere. You have nothing but shrub and desert on the side of you."
Right.
So, but I don't know. Those babies, I think, they're in Bakersfield somewhere. I don't even think they're anywhere near Cal City.
Right. Do you know how the house was listed for years for $132,000? How did they sell that house for $198,000?
Well, I don't know. All I know is my sister went through absolute hell. She now lives in Arizona, and his finances and the whole situation with that situation was just a nightmare. Just getting it to close. It was just a nightmare.
How long was your sister living there?
She lived there, I believe, 2 years. It was her first home that she's ever bought. And she, my dad lived in Tehachapi, and she's like, "Oh, I'll live, closer to Dad."
Oh, your dad lived in Tehachapi?
My dad was living in Tehachapi at the time.
Well, that was where the sighting's supposed to be for the boys at in Tehachapi.
Yes, Tehachapi. I heard something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because there's like Cal City, then you drive like 45 minutes, and then you hit this little town, Tehachapi. So, yeah, my father and her both moved to Arizona. So, but the selling of that house was a nightmare. Her redoing it and trying to get it into shape to live in was a nightmare. She said he was an odd cat. And then we find out that babies are missing. And she said, "I had no idea." She said, "I have no idea there were babies. There was no children present." So,
didn't he tell her how many kids he had?
Nope, didn't say a word about no children.
Oh, he didn't tell her how many
no
kids?
Children.
Oh.
She said it was him and his wife. I think the realtor was there. He never mentioned any children.
Oh.
No children. There was no children.
Okay.
Like when she found out these babies were missing, she stole a baby.
Oh. Well, did your sister know that the realtor gave him the money for the down payment for closing?
Absolutely. That was the whole, she gave him under wraps, loaned him the money. Yeah, she knows.
What?
She knows all that.
What?
That's why it took her forever and a month of Sundays to finally close. I mean, my sister was an wreck trying to get that home to close because of his financial situation. And then we find out the realtor did that. And yeah, she's aware.
Somebody wants to ask, when did they move to Arizona?
He has 4 months ago. I thought it was like way longer ago, but it's only been 4 months ago.
Okay. Do you know why she loaned him $5,000?
We know why the realtor?
Yeah.
My sister calls me one day and says, "Are you going to flip and believe this?" Then she told me this deal, and I go, "Holy crap. We have no idea." My sister had nothing to do with that.
Okay.
She had no idea. I mean, she heard, she found out that happened, and she's like, what in God's name is going on?
Mm-hmm. Is your sister married?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Does the fireplace work?
Yes.
Is it gas or is it?
Well, there's like in old school where there's the little doohickeys that let the gas out, and then you turn the key and you put your wood in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, but the fireplace works, and the back patio, I don't know.
Do the house have 2 extra rooms? I'm reading these questions people asking. That's why I'm asking.
The house had the spare bedroom, the master bedroom, and then she had another room, and then there was like an off, kind of like a sunroom where my brother-in-law, her husband would be, but there was that room, and then there was an attached garage or a detached garage in the back.
Okay.
And there's no trees there, so there's no wood.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's just gross and deserty, and there's, I don't know, nothing is adding up at all.
Was the realtor lady, was she Asian?
My sister said, I don't remember exactly. My sister loved her in the beginning. She thought she was a very sweet woman. I don't know what happened. I don't remember exactly what happened.
Okay.
I think she gave up on her or something because she was just trying to just get the sale done with.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I don't have much information. I just think it's very strange. It's just weird to see this one little blonde lady did a video, and it's just, I'm like, why is she putting my sister's house with all of her belongings all over YouTube?
Oh.
Like the inspector, when my sister.
Do you know? Yes, this is kind of weird because there's a lot of people doing some really shisty things because, when you're buying a home, that's your private information.
Yeah, I told my sister, I go, do you realize this woman is putting up, there's my mom's, my deceased mother's belongings in the pictures. There's my sister's bed, her clothes, her kitchen. I go, you need to, that's very strange.
Now, could you tell us, because I just got one question from myself. How did the Wilkins or the West have their name on that deed or the purchasing of that house back in 2001?
All I know, honestly, because I've been with my sister through this whole hell of trying to get the house and sell her home. All I know is his name's Giselle, and he was with that woman, that Hispanic woman, his wife. That's all I know.
But how did their family get their name on that house back in 2001?
Oh, I have no. You mean Giselle?
No, his family. Watkins.
I have absolutely no idea, honey. I don't know anything. I didn't know that.
Okay. Well, someone mentioned it. Someone mentioned it, so that's why I was asking.
I don't know. All I know is that I heard through my sister's grapevine that when they purchased the home, it was really cheap. I'm not quite sure what they purchased it for, but it had been a drug home. It was raided. The windows were bashed out. I mean, the cows went through hell. So she goes, we got a really good deal, and, we'll be close to Dad, and that's the only reason that she even thought of moving to that home.
Okay. Someone wanted me to ask you about the concrete in the backyard. Is that new concrete that's in the backyard?
No. When she moved in there was a little concrete slab where she put her table. Like in the pictures on YouTube, all over YouTube, it shows her table, her ashtray, her rug. I'm like, that's my sister's belongings.
Oh, that's your sister's stuff in there, not their stuff.
No, they are putting all over YouTube. The inspector or one of the people, when they were getting ready to sell, they went in my sister's home, took tons of pictures, and these people are going on YouTube with those pictures and saying, "Is this a hidden door?" La la la. And there's my sister's bed with her bedspread and her clothes and her perfume and all of her personal belongings.
Yeah, it looks nice though.
But I'm just going, that just seems so weird. I don't know. It's just, the whole thing's just a nightmare. It's absolutely horrible. And I just keep seeing different videos and I'm going, oh my God, those poor babies are in Bakersfield.
Okay.
So,
well, somebody want to ask you, do you know the West family?
I do not know them. No, my sister met them. I do not know them.
Somebody else want to ask, was your sister sleeping with him? I'm
God,
just
no.
okay.
Oh God, no.
Have the FBI spoken to you?
Oh, no. My sister doesn't even want to get involved. She's just like, no. The FBI hasn't spoken to me.
Okay.
And I just made a little comment, and then my son goes, "Look what you've done." I go, "I just made a little comment. I didn't mean to stir up nothing."
Okay.
Yeah, no, my sister's sleeping with him, for Pete's sake. She's been married for 100 years. She's 64 years old.
Somebody want to know about the solar panels. Who put those solar panels on?
Okay, when she moved in, that's all she complained about was how her lights were dim, and it had solar paneling, so it was there when she moved in.
Okay.
I mean, I'd be FaceTiming her in the house, and it was like dimmer lights were on because don't ever get solar paneling.
Okay. All righty. I don't know. I'm trying to. The realtors did 2 years. Did the realtor do 2 years prison for fraud?
I don't really know all the logistics of the cell. I mean, I know.
I don't think you can have a realtor's license if you have a felony.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that the realtor that she was dealing with was she would be like, "Oh, you need to sign some papers," and then she'd disappear to Cabo or something. She was like a young realtor.
She was young. She's very young.
Well, there was 2, I think, that were involved, but the one that she dealt with, she's like, this girl is not even in the office. She's in Cabo, San Lucas. She's like gone. And then, and then his loan fell through, and it was just hell. There was just constant, nothing was going through. It was a nightmare. It was just a nightmare forever.
Okay. Do you know about those bricks in the backyard?
Which bricks?
There's some red bricks that's halfway put down. It's like they probably got about 2 feet of brick down, and it just seems like
I think my sister might have. I think that was just like a walkway. But I mean, like the back gate, that black gate. My sister goes, "We never used that ever. They had a deadbolt and a chain on it. I mean, like a lock and a chain around it." She goes, "That's not, a gate that you use. I mean, it just, that never was used when she lived there." And she's like, and then we're thinking firewood. There's no trees. There's tumbleweeds and sycamores.
So somebody's saying, I don't know. They're saying her name is Eileen, and she looks young, but she's 40. She's about 40 years old.
I've never seen her. I've just heard my sister talk about all the rhetoric.
Somebody says, ask her to repeat what she said about the drywall. What did you say about the drywall?
Oh, there was just, when she moved in, there was just questionable things all out throughout the house. And there was one wall that had like drywall
Mm-hmm.
that was, I think there was like an area behind it.
Okay.
But I mean, like, because he had to do all the electrical, her husband, and they were just, it was a grow house. So
Okay.
they had to, the people that lived there before had to manipulate, the electrical and the plumbing, and just so they could make their plants grow, obviously.
Okay. Well, who lived there before?
I don't know. I believe it was some Asian people. I believe it was.
Oh,
Asian
they had the grow house?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the realtor made her aware, this place has been raided.
Did your sister have cameras at that house?
Nope.
Now, I seen in 2019 there was 2 cameras on the front of that porch.
Really?
Ani, yeah, 2 cameras.
No clue. No clue. My sister, they're very simple, quiet people. I mean, if there was cameras there, I don't know. Maybe she only lived there for a year and a half. I don't know.
It's kind of like this house turned like 3 or 4 times, like 6 months, somebody sold it, then a year, somebody sold it. And that's kind of weird to me. That's really weird to me.
I know. Well, when she bought it, I'm like, why the hell would you want to move there? I mean, you look to over here and it's just there's no grocery store there. It's like one of those towns that when you're traveling, you drive through it and if you blink, you miss it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Was that your sister's camera on the side of the house?
I know for a fact my sister never had any kind of camera, never dealt with a camera, never recorded nothing, never. No.
Why is your sister scared to call in?
She's not scared to call in. She's just going through her own stuff in life.
Uh-huh.
She's got massive stuff on her plate with the purchase of her new home, and yeah, she just doesn't want to be involved.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay. We just asking. Well, yeah. I'm glad. Well, you called in private, didn't you? Yes, you did. She said, I don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, I don't want to be bothered. I'm trying to do my stuff too. I'm moving to Arizona.
Okay. So did you ever get to see these? You didn't never get to see the babies though, right?
Oh, never. No babies, no children. Brenda never. My sister never. No children. There's no kids.
Okay.
No kids.
Mm. Do your sister have any kids?
Oh yeah,
grown. Okay.
My niece and nephew are in their 30s.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my sister bought that house legitly. My sister and her husband are
how much did your sister pay for the house?
I don't know. It was dirt cheap though. I really
like
don't
dirt
know.
Cheap, like under
168,000,
100.
190,000, something like that.
No.
I'm almost. I don't know. I'm thinking that's what I'm thinking.
132 was the highest until they paid 198 for it.
Yeah. I know it was cheap. I just know it was her first home she's ever purchased.
So it must have been what, 132 or less?
Oh no, I don't think it was. I think it was a little bit higher than that.
Oh no. When
I talk to her tonight, I'm going to ask her because that's going to bug me.
No, I know it was 132.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, it was 132.
Maybe it was. Maybe you're correct.
No, yeah.
I don't know. I dealt with her for forever with the confusion of this man and his income, and it only comes from his bebops music, and his loans not going through, and it was just a nightmare.
How did he get this house without a job and she without a job, not showing no income, but then the loan officer was able to loan them the money? How did they get? Was this supposed to be another drug house and they were trying to help this out or whatever? Or that's kind of weird, because had not they gave them this home?
Their primary income, I believe, was from foster care.
Well, that's not supposed to be an income. Foster care is not an income, because that's the kids' money to take care of them kids.
Absolutely, you're correct.
And you're not supposed to use that for a loan for a house or a car.
Right. I suppose he did some kind of music or something. I don't know. Don't quote me. I don't know.
Okay. And if he made $10,000 a year, that's less than $500.
Well, think about it. The realtor scandalously.
That's like $400. That's $200. That's $400 a week. I mean, every 2 weeks.
Right. I don't know, but let me tell you,
that's less than $10 an hour. That's about $5 or $6 an hour.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That's why it took. I mean, my sister's in tears, crying, going, "Oh my God, this is not closing. This fell through. This fell through."
Right. Well, I'm pretty sure she was happy when she sold it. But do you know you're supposed to make 3 times the amount of whatever the house payment is?
Mm-hmm.
So how did this go through?
Don't know. I don't know. It's finally. I don't know. How did it come to a close? I don't know. I mean, it got to the point where my sister had to drive from Arizona to Cal City. Hysterical, just going, I just want to close this home. I just want to sell my home. Mm-hmm. It was a nightmare for her, I'm telling you. It was an absolute nightmare.
Okay, yeah.
But it finally did. And it literally took the whole time they lived there, I think, for it to close.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. But see, she's like, we bought this home, they lived there, they did, they're very quiet, boring old people. And then they move, and then boom, here's this story of these children, and my sister's going, what children? And what? I thought he was a little strange. And then I'm going, Brenda, this is weird. I mean, this is strange. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm just following it. We're following it. I pray those boys are found. And
okay, somebody want to ask you one more question. I'm gonna let you go. Okay. I know.
Okay.
I'm happy that you called me back, because we'd be reaching out. Some people.
No problem.
And I'm glad that you called in, because I'm like, cause I reach out to a lot of people. Some people come in and some people don't. But someone's wanting to know. Young Black Queen wants to know: has your sister ever been to jail?
No, God, no. Okay. No, my sister has absolutely nothing to do with those human beings. She just met them and sold. I mean, he met those people and sold them a home with her realtor. That's all she did. Okay. It's just weird that she happened to sell him the home. Her and her realtor. It's just a weird coinky dink. But no, she has no ties, no nothing with those people at all.
Okay.
Nothing.
All righty. Well, I hope that you talk to your sister, and
I will.
And see if she'll call in, because I know I'm asking questions that people want to know.
I mean, I really don't know. I'm just a sister that
right.
to listen to her sister.
Right. Do you know who boarded up the house? Did
I do not know. That happened way after they moved out.
Right.
I don't know. I've heard that they had a handyman do it. Some people had a handyman do it. Giselle.
Mm-hmm.
I heard over the YouTube videos the handyman, and then I heard that the cops did it. So I have no idea.
Well, if the handyman did it or whatever, wouldn't the realtor loaned him some more money for that too.
Right.
But
I have
you don't know?
no idea. Honey, I know what all of you all know. Besides when my sister lived there, I mean, everything from, 6 months ago, I don't know what's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
The boarding of the house, the camera stuff. I don't know none of that.
Okay.
I just know that my sister purchased that home. They redid it. It was fun for them. They got an icky realtor. They found a shiesty buyer. The dude bought it. They went through hell. Now they're in Arizona building their life. They're senior citizens. And I'm watching these boys missing, and I'm following all the videos. And my sister hasn't seen nothing of that man since the day she met him 5 months ago. So I'm just basically following up, watching like all of you. I have questions like all of you.
Okay. I got one more question and then we're done. Because there's somebody in the chat and I might want them to come on, and I know I'm running late. How was this a grow house? Isn't there
No clue.
isn't there
I know that when my sister moved in
a
there,
bondsman lived right across the street?
Jesse lives across the street. Jesse's a young guy with motorcycles and a young wife and young children. Normal little young people living their life.
Jesse?
I don't know about any other neighbors. All I know is about Jesse that lives across the street, the happy little young married couple. Now, when my sister bought the home, she told me. She showed me and walked me through the house. This place is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse my language. Just electrical in weird places. Plumbing in the ground in the den.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could put a toilet in the middle of the floor. Just weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Weird stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just weird. And then she had been told, I believe her realtor told her, like I said, that it was raided and they took out a whole bunch of Chinese people. And I think she heard that from her neighbor or the realtor. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So
yeah,
if the electrical was all over the place and these kids could have got hurt in that home, and you guys didn't get it inspected by
no. She went through the house. They redid the kitchen. They redid the. Stop it. My husband just got home. It's time for dinner. They redid the kitchen. They redid the rooms. They drywalled. They made it cozy and back to livable, normal.
Okay.
But when they started, she's like, "Wow, this is weird."
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you answering some of these questions.
No problem.
All righty.
But I gotta go cook din.
Well, thank you for coming in here and sharing.
No problem. And we'll just all pray for those little babies, and hopefully that they find out what's really going on with these creepy parents.
Right. Thank you. You have a good evening.
All right. And I will, maybe I'll speak to you again. Who knows?
All right.
Have a lovely evening.
You too.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 10 to Life is in the building. See, I knew it was. This is the number to call in. Right here. I didn't want to get in the middle of this, you guys, and I knew a can of worms was gonna open up. Here we go. We ain't gonna be here all night because I'm not gonna spend my whole night with y'all. Y'all know I've been working too many hours. If 10 to Life want to call in and anybody want to ask her, ask the questions or answer questions. This is SP. Who's calling? Y'all gonna have to quit calling and hanging up on me. I don't like it. Why would the previous homeowner know what the lender did? SP Acid. She gone now, y'all. I'm gonna have to squirrel on up. Y'all had people in the house. This is SP. Who's calling?
It's JJ.
Hey, JJ.
Hi, SP. You know what? I'm very suspect of this sister. She's not making any sense. Every time she would say something, she was so definite, but as soon as you caught her with a mistruth, all of a sudden, oh, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there's something else going on, and I don't for one second think that that woman did not have an affair with that man. People don't just lend out money like that.
Right.
I just wanted to say that.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, SP, for your time.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Hey, this is SP.
Hey, this is Annie Elise. How are you?
I'm fine. Who is this?
This is Annie from 10 to Life.
Hey, Annie. How you doing? I didn't know that was your name.
No worries. I don't know if I can even answer any questions for you. One of my subs messaged me and said that you were live and there were some questions floating around about the $5,000 loan. And I'm the one who had directly spoke with that woman and got all that information. So if there's any questions you have that I can help answer, I'm happy to.
Oh, wow. See, we're getting in the middle of something we did not even know. I had heard about this live. I didn't know who done it. And I heard about this $5,000 was supposed to be in a loan. And I don't know if they have any questions in here. Tell her you and your sister can talk privately. That was the oh my goodness. There's another call coming in. I don't even know the answer to that. You guys, we got 666 in the building. I don't think I'm gonna answer it. Anyway, if anybody in the room have any questions, do you know, did she say that the lender loaned them $5,000?
Yes, so I spoke with her and she was, I don't know if she was the exact loan officer, I believe so, but basically the loan was being processed through her office and she had quite a few of her employees out at the time. And so she ended up working on the loan directly. And so she worked hand in hand with Trizell on this. Originally, everything was supposed to close within 30 days, but he ended up having to switch loan types and it ended up being extended for 4 months. During those 4 months, they apparently, according to her, became friends and grew a friendship and really bonded over things. She said they had a lot of similarities with their lifestyle and beliefs, such as being holistic, organic. They talked a lot about conspiracy theories and some interesting stuff like that. So she had said, we developed a friendship, we became close friends. Then when it came time for closing, originally it was negotiated in that the seller was going to pay the closing costs, which it would be interesting to know if that were true or not, if we could talk to the seller or the seller's sister. But she said originally that was the plan, but then based on the new loan and how things worked out, he was responsible for paying the closing costs. And because of that, he was essentially completely tapped out financially and had no money left over to move or to buy new furniture. So she said at that point they had, developed this friendship. She considered him a good friend and a good person, and she wanted to help him out. So she gave him a personal loan of $5,000. And so far he has paid her back 3 of the 5.
Now, how long have they been knowing each other?
Just those 4 months.
4 months. So, if you meet somebody, you probably didn't speak too much. I mean, he's married. He's a married man. He's got all these children. So, how much of a friendship could they have possibly had for someone to loan him $5,000? That's a lot.
Agree.
That's a lot of money to loan somebody you just known for 4 months, and you ain't sleeping with them, and He's married, got a wife at home, and 6 kids, 8 kids, 4 kids. How many ever kids he had at that particular time?
I'm with you. I personally probably wouldn't do something that nice or generous with somebody I barely knew, but throughout we spoke for about 45 minutes on the phone, and she continued to just say she thought that they were very similar. They had this friendship and she wanted to help him out. But I did think it was interesting because she never met his wife, Jackie, until everything wrapped up at the very end, and he had to go into their office to pick up their closing package. Jackie stayed outside in the van with all of the kids. And when I guess she said to him when he picked up the package, oh, I want to meet your family. Like, can I go out there and meet them? So she goes out to the van, meets Jackie, says hello. And she said she looked in the back of the van to see the children. And I had asked her if she remembers how many she saw, what the date was, all of that. And she said because it was the conversion van and so closed off and private that she saw that there were some children back there, but she couldn't identify how many. But I thought it was interesting that if they were such close friends, she hadn't met any of the family up until then. And it just seemed, but maybe
never been over to their house or nothing.
What?
So did she say, how did they have all this chitter chatter time to talk and everything?
So she had said originally that when they started hitting it off, so to speak, there would be times where when he would come into the office to do some of the work, like the paperwork or sign things, that he would oftentimes stay almost an hour later once they were done wrapping up their business to continue talking about those conspiracy theories and things like that. And then on a sidebar, she had shared information with me regarding the handyman and boarding up the house. And while she was sharing that, she was sending me additional screenshots of their text message history in case anything were relevant. And it looked through just those that they, appeared to have a friendship because they were texting back and forth with documentary recommendations and things like that. And as far as gardening, planting food, which he had told her when he moved there, he was hoping to start gardening, which seems very weird for the desert unless it's pot. I don't know. It's a little strange.
How old is she?
She, you know what? I thought I'd have to look. I thought that she was in her late 30s, early 40s, but then I saw a photo of her and she looked younger. I would have to go and double check. But she is married. I know that much.
Oh, she's married.
Yeah, because she had said that when she went to Vegas with her husband for New Year's, that she said during the whole time during this process, she didn't even know where Cal City really was on the map because they were in Bakersfield. And she said on the way back from Vegas over New Year's with her husband, he pointed out Cal City and said, this is Cal City and it's the place you were talking about. And she said, when I saw Cal City, I thought to myself, why on earth would he want to move here? There is just nothing around. It's complete flat desert land. But so she didn't know much about it, according to her.
Well, how did he find out that house was for sale? Do you know? If the realtor didn't know where it was, how did he even go look at it?
I'm not sure. So there were two different agents. There was the listing agent and his agent. And I don't know if his agent is the one who brought the property to him. Mm-hmm. Possibly, because I believe he has sold some other properties in the area, but also in Bakersfield. But I did think it was interesting. I heard this not directly from the realtor because the realtor has not wanted to speak out very much. I had one conversation with him, but he doesn't want to get involved in all of the drama. But he spoke with the lender, and she told me that she found it odd because the realtor said that Trezell did not want to do a final walkthrough of the house, which anybody who's familiar with buying a house, you usually always do a final walkthrough. Especially if there's a list of repairs, things like that. He was adamant that he didn't want it. He didn't care to do that. He just wanted to close the deal and move in. So I thought that was a little odd. And then this realtor also, because social media is, of course, the primary source of marketing these days, he always takes photos with his clients in front of the house once it sells and posts, congratulations on your new home, this and that. And he wanted to do that with them. And Trezell and Jackie were very adamant that they did not want any sort of picture taken of them in front of the house.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So I don't know if any of that information helps you, but hopefully it does. I know you don't want to stay on here too long, but feel free if you have any other questions to shoot me an email or get in touch with me, and I'm happy to help in any way I can.
okay, because we had a young lady on here earlier, and she spoke about some things. Like I said, we were not on that subject, and so now we're aware of a lot of the stuff that's going on. We're just sitting back, trying to figure this out.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you calling.
No problem. I will talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let me put her number in here, you guys. Hold on. Cause I don't want to lose it. Um, I'm thinking it's this one. Y'all, I'm tripping because I'm thinking it's this number right here. I'm tripping because somebody called right before, and I don't want to be calling him going, hey, is this such? Anyway, you guys, I'm going to get off of here. Who the heck? Oh, this is SP. Who's calling?
Hi, SP, it's Tina.
Hey, Tina.
Are you off yet?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to keep you long. But so, you know how she said that he didn't want to do a walkthrough and whatnot?
Uh-huh.
Usually, I don't know how I know this, okay? So don't nobody ask me, nobody wants to. But usually, when someone's into, buying homes and whatnot, if they don't want to do a walkthrough and whatnot, it's usually because they don't really plan on keeping the house. Sometimes investors, they pick up homes, they go in, they fix it up a little bit, and then they sell it back out at a higher price. So maybe that's something that he was trying to plan into. Oh my God. But everybody keeps saying they don't think that the kids are there. But the way that this story seems tonight, from what this person said, it seems like there could be a possibility that maybe the kids could be there. Because not only did he not want to, do a walkthrough or even go to the house, I mean, the neighbors say that they heard him drilling a lot in the garage at nighttime.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in in the news thing, when you watch the news where they did the press conference and whatnot. Oh, and when all the families were around, you can see he has his hands in between his underneath his arms.
Yeah.
They were complaining about, well, not complaining, but they were just mentioning that they never saw him. They never saw the wife with the kids, but all they did hear was that he would work in the garage at night. That's all they knew. That the man in the house would work in the garage at night, and then that's when another person that was out there in the street also said, "Why you got all those bottles, those liquor bottles in your garbage?" But they probably had no intent on staying there. So when they moved there, they moved the rest of the kids that they did have. They were living there already, or they were with the grandmother.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, we can't say because of the kids. Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, hopefully, I think that this is going to come to a head soon.
Right.
And yeah, I think so. I think it will. Yep. All right. Well, good night.
All right. Thank you.
Sorry. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night. Hey, you guys, I'm going to get off here. We've been 2 hours into this live. You guys will come back on when today's Wednesday, Friday. I am going to try to work on this information that I want to share with you guys. Remember to go over there to that young lady's video. Her name is Javin Christian, JVONNI, whatever, E, whatever. You guys, it's in the chat. I will try to post her link somewhere in there. Check her out. One of the mods, please put it up in there. And I will see you guys Friday. I'm going to get off of here because we still got 2 more people, you guys, that haven't came on here. I need you guys to listen to. So give me some time and let's be patient, okay? All right. I'll see you guys later. You guys ready for this? I don't even know if I want to. We didn't do a shout out for Nora's Authentic Designer handbags. Let's go.
Hey family, let me share with you what Nora's Closet has on her racks right now. You guys are gonna love this. Everything that a woman loves. We're coming into 2021. She has your Versace, she has your Gucci, and your authentic handbag. She also has your perfume. If you guys are looking for Chanel or CK or Gucci, this is the place to be. Make sure when you go over there, tell her SP News sent you. You're not going to regret it. Are you a Warriors for Children and she'll work with you? You can walk on the runway with this one, you guys. I guarantee it.